Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we are making some super cute little cherry blossoms with Fuji. Now we're not just doing cherry blossoms, but I will leave that as a surprise as we go on. I've been feeling inspired to do some Japanese inspired paintings since I live in Japan currently. They have the most glorious gardens, and I think the most iconic flower of Japan is the cherry blossoms. But I decided to do a few other ones because these flowers stood out to me as well. And those are going to be the hydrangea, the wisteria, and then we're going to do two cherry blossom paintings, one small and one that's a little bit larger. I'm consigning these at a local gift shop here in Japan, and I'm very excited to be able to share this with you. It looks so cute. I'm so proud of these, and I hope you guys love them. If you have ever been to Japan, please tell me what was your favorite flower when you visited. I know they bloom all at different times of the year, so it's really hard to know exactly which ones you're going to see. Even the cherry blossoms, like every year, because of the weather, they might bloom earlier or later than scheduled or forecast. So it's really lucky that I get to live here because then I actually get to just be here while things are blooming, versus if you're a tourist and you're planning to come visit to see specific blooms, it can be a lot more tricky to plan exactly the right time to be here and take the beautiful pictures, you know? Flowers will not be forced. They choose to bloom whenever they want to. And we are just lucky or unlucky if we get to watch them bloom or miss them entirely. So these are like forever flowers, so you don't have to actually wait for these to bloom. They are just blooming 24/7. And I find that this is such a wonderful way to bring flowers into my home, because my husband is very allergic to plants, unfortunately, and so we can't have any indoor plants. And I used to have a large garden, but now I live in an apartment. So when I started making 3D florals, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect way for me to surround myself with beautiful flowers and still feel connected to that part of me that loves gardening and loves being around flowers. But this is a hypoallergenic way to do it, and I also don't need to have a bunch of soil and a huge garden in order to have these flowers. So if you've been looking for the perfect way to commemorate your trip to Japan, may I suggest a little 3D painting. I'm really happy with how these turned out, by the way, you guys. This is a new paint that I have, this purple one. It's supposed to have like little metallic, I think it's like pearl luster dust or something. I'm not entirely sure. And it dries very metallic-y, and it's so pretty. So if you love the color purple and you really want this specific paint, I only have a little bit of it, and it's a limited supply from Gaffrey Art Materials. So if you really want a bouquet with it, make sure you order something while I still have it, okay? So I made some hydrangeas in purple. I made some in blue and a few in pink as well. And I actually used a little bit of all three, as you'll see in the end result. And I also decided to make some more roses while I was at it. This is kind of a messy, tossed together rose. Usually I don't use this specific piping tip for creating roses, and you can kind of see how it kind of morphs the petal shape a little bit too much. And I don't love having super fat petals. I'd rather have thin, delicate looking ones, Now the paint does shrink back a little bit, so it does get a little bit more of a delicate look, but personally I prefer to get thinner, more delicate looking petals. We just have the Fuji painting that I have painted at a local paint class that I had a lot of fun making, and that's kind of my inspiration for all four of these paintings. Now, for a satisfying brush pull, I just had that tiny little thread, it kept annoying me. So for each of these Fujis, I wanted to make sure that the composition was correct, and I wanted to make sure that my painting was going to look balanced for every type of composition that I'm going to add together, right? So the wisteria, it's traditionally hanging from the top, so I put Fuji very close to the bottom so that I would make sure to fill in all the space on the teeny tiny little canvas and make it look very, very nice, you know, make it look very spacious and very realistic. I love this one. I think it's so, so cute. And you'll of course have to tell me which one of these is your favorite. Ugh, I hate it when dumb stuff happens like this. But that's life, isn't it? So then this is the one that's going to have cherry blossoms. So I wanted to have some water along the bottom and have like a reflection pool. Don't you love how nimble I am? How very, very unclumsy I am? All right, so then this is going to be the painting that becomes the hydrangea painting. And for this one, I wanted Fuji to be at the top of the painting because in that bottom third is where all my flowers were going to be sitting. So yeah, I was winging it the whole time. I mean, I did have some pictures on my Pinterest that I was inspired by, but each of these were just kind of like the initial painting right away. And because they're so tiny, I thought they were the perfect thing for me to start with. And then for the last painting, I did the larger one. And the larger one is still only 5 by 7. The other ones are 3 by 3. I was requested to create some low dollar value paintings for the consignment shop because normally my artwork is quite a bit larger. You can see it there on the wall behind me. So I was challenging myself to make something smaller and more keepsake sized because, you know, not everyone has a huge budget, but come on, flowers are loved by everyone. So I think it's nice if I can have a variety of price points available. I haven't started offering these yet on my website, but I will likely add those soon. And that way you can order a personal Fuji and you can just customize whatever flowers you prefer. In your order, you would just write in the notes, I prefer to have X, Y, and Z, and you can also tell me the colors if you really want. Like, it's very easy for you to customize any of these paintings. Don't you just love how 3D paint works? I mean, gosh, I'm still fascinated by it just watching this video back as I do the voiceover. It's so crazy to me because you can just paint with a brush and then you put it in a piping bag and all of a sudden you're piping in 3D. You're painting in 3D. It's insane. And I really love this kind of blend of having 2D painting in the background and then starting to bring in like low profile 3D painting and then really bringing in those over the top 3-dimensional flowers at the end. And this is the cherry blossom. Isn't it so cute? Next, we are going to work on the hydrangeas. I think they're super, super cute. I did swap some things around for this one, so it was not the easiest one. And I still kind of, something about the composition irks me a little bit, and I'm not sure why. And then I was kind of messing around with this for a while, and then finally I was like, yoink, let's swap this out with a light pink, because sometimes you'll have hydrangeas that will have like pinks and blues in the same fluffy branch. So that's what I decided to go with. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think it turned out really nicely. And then I took in this really dark red and I added it to the centers, and I also added just like some little dots and things just to make everything feel cohesive. Then I started on the large cherry blossom. You already know we're painting in some branches with 3D paint. And I love when they look a little messy because that makes it feel more realistic for me branch-wise, you know? And then I just started going in with my flowers one at a time. Once I felt like, okay, I have a good number, then I added my last one. And then I grabbed my paintbrush. Let's go in with some green. And then we're gonna do the centers. And sometimes my paint doesn't want to cooperate, but luckily I've worked with it long enough. I usually have a couple tricks that work pretty well for me. So I can just go back in and I can fix it up pretty easily. So I'm kind of proud of myself for my problem solving skills. They have come through trial and error. They have been earned, but I like figuring out how to make things turn out okay, even while running into hurdles along the way. And then I also signed this painting. Unfortunately, you couldn't see it in the video, so sorry about that. I am still learning and I'm still trying to do better. So this is the wisteria. Isn't she cute? I think this has to be my favorite. I don't know which one I love more, the big cherry blossom or the little one. But I really love the hydrangeas as well. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Which one's your favorite? Isn't that so cute? I love it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please subscribe to my channel and head on over to the link in my bio to shop any 3D art on my website. Goodbye.